Hello, 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 everyone. Thank you for coming back and welcome new members, new followers. I so enjoy and thank you for finding me. Please like and subscribe. I can guarantee you, you will not be disappointed. So, like I had said in the previous video, showing you this gorgeous, large, journal. It's my second Edith Holden Tracie Fox journal. And I am taking parts of that, especially the pockets and tags, and showing you how I did that. So that's what this tutorial is. So here is Tracie's information. This is also going to be July's design team project. Thank you, Tracie. So love that. We are going to show you how I did this. This little pocket is very easy. It's just a pocket. So I'm going to show you how I take a bookmarker and make it into a tuck spot. Set this aside. Okay, I just went ahead and used my scraps. Literally, I was bored one night thinking of how things I need to do, and I used Tracie's scraps. And of course, these were all of her labels. Just scraps. Okay. So at one time I had gotten a huge package of these little skinny white tags, and the size of these, and they're just they are only made out of white cardstock. So I'm going to move my things over here. The size of this is 1 3/4 or 4.5 centimeters, 1 3/4 inches or 4.5 centimeters, and by 5 1/4 inches or 13 centimeters. So basically what we're going to do is that we're just going to cover the front and back. You can do whatever you want. So I'm taking, before I start that, wanted to give you a little tip of how I organize my things. When I get a digital kit, whether it's Tracie's or anybody else's, I print everything off, usually twice, because there's always the way I work, I always will want to use a piece or a portion of the same piece in a different, so might as well. The first page that I print off of the first copy of the page that I print off, I usually enlarge it to the largest I can for an 8.5 by 11, because there's always times that I'm taking bits and pieces, or I may use the whole thing, or I just like large tags or large whatever. And then the second one is going to be printed regular or smaller. Usually I just print it regular size. I find that is very helpful. And then when I get all the kit printed off, I just cut it out. I have a lot of, in the evenings, I love to sit and I love to fussy cut. So I just cut it out, put it into a plastic bag or a plastic envelope, which I have all of my Tracie kits cut out and ready to go, because when I, at a moments of inspiration, then I am ready to use it. So just a FYI. So back here, I'm going to cover, basically, I just take a metal ruler so I am going to cover that. Now, I am not really going to glue anything. I'm just going to tell you because I don't, and I'm not going to ink. I'm a huge inker. So that is basic, the tag. Pretend that is attached to that. You can do whatever you want on the back. A lot of the times I will wrap things around, but you can do whatever. So this right here is a flap of one of Tracie's envelopes. Okay, and you will see how I use the other part of that envelope in the rest. So that is going to be the part of the flap that I will use as the tuck. But I love the rough edge. So what I'm going to do, and I really don't want to lose a lot, so I am just going to I love that torn edge. So I tear and make it nice and look. Usually I ink, I'm not going to ink. So you have the tag, even if it's skinny, I still would I would like to have that up there as much as I can, just under half. You can see, I can still see the line. So basically that, and that's still too much. I'm still going to, so I'm going to pull it off of the bookmark or the tag. Just so that you can kind of really get a clear idea. So I would glue that down, and basically that's your basis. That is your basis. You can decorate from here, and what I probably will do, and here's another reason, this is Tracie's, I believe on part of another sheet she has these smaller jars and looks like flowers. I shrunk it down even more, so because I wanted this miniature, and I'm going to do this. I may even, nope, I like it better that way. Okay, you say, if you have it that way, how's the other thing? So this part's going to be cut off. How is it going to go underneath there without it curling up like it is now? To fix that is that you would add, this is just on copy paper, you would add another piece of paper to make it more sturdy, and it would lay flat. If it has a tendency to kind of curl up after you either use a glue stick or a glue glitter, art glue glitter, glitter glue, excuse me, art glitter glue, just put it underneath a book for a few minutes while you are doing something else, and it will flatten out. And then you can just tuck it under there. Okay, so basically that is what my tag's going to be. Okay, that is that bookmark tag. Really easy peasy. So another thing that to use this also comes into, which are tarling. You can use these as is tuck spots. You can put it different different ways, I mean, you can just really. So what I am going to do, I'm going to make these into little ephemera that goes into this tag. So I'm going to push this out of the way. I am going to tear from here to here, here to here, to make it rectangular. This is why. I don't care if there's little bits and pieces right there. Sometimes it's easier if I go do it this way versus the other way, because you have, you know, but it really doesn't matter. So there, I kept that image that I want, and it's still kind of, oh, it's just that one piece. Put it on a file folder, put another piece of paper underneath, especially if I do not have a tea dyed, and this I did not, because a lot of the times when I am doing some of her kits, if it's the papers that I am, you know, the full page papers, then I put it on tea dye or coffee dyed. But most of the time I just print them out on different kinds of paper. But this is just regular copy paper. So that, and I don't care if it sticks off, because usually my pocket is bigger. So I will do the same thing, but don't throw this away, because that could, you never know, I could still use that in a variety. Yeah, look at that. That's a nice little design right there. So don't throw those away. Same thing with this. This time I'm gonna go to the corners, press, and this ruler is just a flat metal ruler. It did have a cork on the backing, but it fell off. I've used it for so long, and it just works out really. So if this is too big, and sometimes I just like, then I will make it smaller. In fact, I'm gonna pull this one, because I like the yellow to the yellow of the bee, and then put this one up here on top. And a lot of the times when I have things already glued down, things will stick out like that. And that is basically how I did that. So does that make sense to everyone? I'm going to lower my just a bit. So I hope it does, because that is easy peasy, but on a bookmarker. How cool is that? How cool is that? All right, we're going to go right into the next one. And I will make that later, ink it up. I'm an inker. Love, love, love to ink. So the next one is this. It is just basically Edith Holden. It was a, you know, I know the font is upside down, but I love that back font. It just is nice and easy. I really darkened the edges and freely hand cut out. So we're going, and then just used. And I love how that is just sets in there. Now, I am a sewer. I do have a sewing machine. If you're not, no big deal. It's not that big of a deal. And it is a tucked spot behind there. So that is going to be our second. So what I did here, and I'm just going to explain this. I'm going to turn down my light, because then you can see it. This yellow is just such a gorgeous yellow. So here's a perfect example why I make two of the same page in different sizes. So this is just a regular tag. I measured the tag, or I basically just made my own size. I knew I wanted this size because I wanted to use the flowers from the Darling Bee kit. So in the back, Tracie has a, this is a tag. So this sheet I enlarged to the fullest. I love large tags. So, and I will probably print off this sheet probably at least 1 or 2 more times because I'm already down to nothing anymore. I love, because I can take things like this and add them on there. So basically what I did, I took this tag that was on the sheet and the regular yellow, because she has some plain tags. She has a pink, blue, purple, and yellow tags also in the Darling Bee kit. And I enlarged the yellow tag in whatever sheet that is, enlarged it to its fullest. And then I enlarged this tag, enlarged it to its fullest, and then I decreased it down to probably, in my printer, I usually never go below 75%. So that's what probably this is. And I sewed around it. So what and then I fussy cutted it, you know, inked it, sewed it, because it's white on the back, and then did the same. And that is as easy as you're going to get. Does everybody understand that? Because I love how the stitching is here, how the little things pop up behind this big, and how that bee, it looks like its little butt sticking out and it's just going into the flower. It is perfect. Easy peasy. All right, I'm going to go over it again. A simple tag in the back of Tracie's. You enlarge this, fussy cut this out, sew it all on, and decrease the same tag down, sew it, and there you have it. I felt I didn't need to show you. Yeah, you understand most of that. So, all right, the third one, we've got 2 more. I believe it is. It is this one. I know I'm really close, but it's this plastic glassine and how to make a tuck on here. And then the last one will be a, you know, something that you can attach the glassine on. And if not, you can just attach it to another part of the page or a folded page. It's totally up to you. I'm going to increase, there we go. Hope that doesn't blind you. So this is what we're going to make. I've already made one. I'm going to show you how I did it. Basically what these are glassine, sandwich glassine bags. You can get into the store really easy. They're gusseted, you know, for sandwiches. Easy, 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 easy. So what I did, and then of course I made, there's another reason why I increase. Yeah, see, you can use it back and forth, but I'll show you that later. Get all of my things out here. Okay, first of all, here is a regular sandwich bag. What I did is that, of course, the sandwich bag, that's where I'm going to put this flap, this section of flap underneath the envelope to make it a flip. Okay, that is also where the sandwich bag has a seam. So what I did, I took it to my sewing machine and I just sewed in the middle of that seam all the way down, and that is going to be where I fold. So it's nice to go ahead once you do that. This is one of the reasons why I do have a sewing machine. If you don't have a sewing machine, you still want to use this. A staple would be fine. Just remember to make the paper to cover the staple, or have a stapler come in just a little bit so it'll be easy to cover. Just, and you can put staples. If you glue it, glassine is very hard to glue. The art glitter glue may, but I know 3-in-1 fabric tack will hold it. But that's why on glassine and slick papers, it's better if you just sew it. But it can be done. So basically, so that is going to be my folding line. That is the tag. Or excuse me, that is the envelope. So here is a very enlarged part of Tracie's tag. And I turned it upside down. And I usually, see, I cut it out. And I usually, I leave a little at the top here because it doesn't bother me at all, because that's where I know. And it doesn't bother me because all of this around here is going to be covered. If you can see, all of that is going to be covered. So this is one of Tracie's envelopes. Remember how I used this part for the bookmarker tuck? I'm just going to close it here so it'll be easier. Excuse me. So basically you would hand tear or fussy cut, however you want to do it, all the way down here. Okay? All the way down, and however you want to cover, so probably from here to here. If you want this, if you want the ferns or the pine right here, you can leave it. Otherwise, I just tore it all the way down. All right? And then that, and then of course I inked it. Okay? Y'all know? Okay, but before you attach this piece onto this piece, what I did here, I took the new Tim Holtz bubble stamp. It just was love that pink. I knew that pink was going to shine through, and it is a little, these two tags are different, but it comes from the same set, same kit. I just tried to find a distress ink within this green, and it's kind of like an olive green. I think I might have used Shabby Shutters. I think Tim Holtz Distress. And so I took the bubble stamp and then just stamped that. And that's probably what I would have done there too. So that's what I did here. It just gives it a little different look. If you like the plain look, that's fine. You don't need to do. That's just an option. Just a FYI, I do like to put one of Tim Holtz platforms, or no, excuse me, one of Tim Holtz stamping platforms. Yeah, I guess the stamping thingies underneath, because then I will definitely get a crisper. Otherwise, my table moves. So pretend I already stamped. Get that one out of the way. I already cut this out. And added that right there. Okay, here's a perfect example that I did not print this one large enough. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put that over there. What I would do, and I always like to leave a little bit, like less than an eighth, all the way down here, just because of the fold. I've had paper get clogged up. So I would probably come back down here. I don't mind this. This is already into the paper. I don't mind that. And then I know I'm going to get to the base of the glassine bag. So I would cut it off right about here. Do you understand that? And actually, this line will not show because if you see here, I put some washi tape, some vintage tape. I just, and a Tracie Fox label. You could do the same thing there. So pretend I have done all of that. Use what you have. Use what you have. And if you don't like to do all of this, you think that's too busy, just leave it as is then. And then there you go. That is, then you are done. Okay, I even put a little Tracie label up here. I like to tear my washi tape just because it really gives it an organic feel and look. And I do have a video, there are many videos out of how to make your own vintage washi tape with Scotch tape and alcohol ink. And so there you go. That is it. And making tags for this is at your own leisure. For this one, I just took a piece of file folder, put a Tracie's blue tag stamped on top of there from a stamp from Lorna from Tailor Made Journals, and then a drywall tape you can get. I love it because it has the holes. And then a Tim Holtz, however you want to decorate it, sewed it. And that goes right here. And plus, it just is nice contrast, you know, this red or this pinkish coral and that coral. And then, of course, this is one of my favorites. I just use another part of the file folder and some book page in the back. I covered it with book page, and then I used one of the blue labels right here. It goes all the way around. Drywall tape, a little bit of lace that I had, and a tag, and then a Tracie label. And I enlarged the jar in one of the sheets of her Darling Bee set. This is another reason why I enlarge and then make things small. And then I just put it on, and that is going to be, and see how that just sticks out? Isn't that just a darling? So easy. So easy. Okay. Then the very last one is going to be this one. It is just an old envelope. Unfortunately, I do not have another envelope that has a full. I would love to get dozens of these. These are just so awesome, but I only had one. But we're going to use a junk envelope that we get into the mail that has a uniform window, wide window. This envelope, I did coffee dye it and then just let it to dry, and then I ironed on the outside to really flatten it out. Do not iron the plastic. It will melt and ruin the bottom of your iron. So that's really, and I will show you the ways here. So book pages, and of course I made a tag to go with it. So here is a regular. You can see it's just a regular envelope with a full. A lot of the times you'll get with partial. If that's all you got, then use it. It's really no big deal. Really no big deal. So we always zip our envelopes, and inside I just put a really tiny bit of painter's paper. That's what this is. You can go to any hardware store and get painter's paper. It's like a craft color, very thin. It's much thinner. It doesn't give you the weight. And so I just cut out a piece, and you can tell I ink everything up first. I cut out a piece, put it in there, and then I lift it up and then I put the glue down between the back of the envelope and the painter's paper. Just put a bead of glue or two right through here, because this side of the painter's paper in the envelope is not glued, but who cares? When you slide your tag in, it's not going to catch, and you see? So basically you just need the glue on this side of the painter's paper. And see, it just covers that window. That's all I care about, really. Because in the journals, it won't matter, because you'll have a tag in. Okay? So this was, like I said, on the previous, in the book, it was coffee dyed. If you do not coffee dye, use your inks. I have all of the distress and oxides, the large and the mini, because I use them all. I really do. They're so versatile. I use a lot of them in even my mixed media paintings. So what the two colors that I used here is antique linen, and this is oxides. These two are oxides, antique linen, and I did that Tim Holtz. You put it onto your glass mat, and you spray it with water, and then you dip it in like this and dry it. I did it with antique linen, and I believe walnut or vintage photo, one of the two. Probably this looks more like vintage photo, and then I shaded it on the outside with walnut. So then that's it. That is it. It looks really cool because it gives you that distressed look. And did you know, if you take your distress inks, of like I have a walnut in the minis, and if you use this and just pretend this is inked up with walnut, and I'm getting the inside of that, and you can see I like that. Otherwise it stays white. It just makes it a finished look. It just really makes it a fit, and I do that all the way around. And if the plastic gets inked, take a baby wipe it off, and you're good to go. All right. Then I want to cover up this little postage, and so I tore a piece of really brittle book page, inked it, tore a piece here, inked it, tore another piece, inked it. So that, and I will pretend, excuse me, sorry about that, tore the third piece, inked it, and put it right up on top. So pretend all of this is glued down. Then, in fact, this is the only time that I am going to glue these down, because the next thing I want to show you, I want to talk about, I have always talked about 49 and Market rub-ons, and I want to show you in so bad, and in so many ways, how I use them. And so this is, if you will just indulge me your patience. And it doesn't bother me that it's a little wonky. It just doesn't bother me at all. Hope everybody is good today. Here in Nebraska, it is really, really hot. Thank goodness we have had some rain. Oh, we are so fortunate. This last weekend we had 2.5, 3 inches of rain. It's been really, literally, it has saved our crops, because like so many other areas in the United States, it's just a drought. And I just am so fortunate, so blessed, so blessed. So that's what that is, okay? So now we're going to work on rub-ons. But before, and this is why I take one of Tim Holtz stamp plates, and because I will use that. And okay, I want to talk about the 49 and Market rub-ons. The rub-ons that I use are the vintage, see the 49 and Market Vintage Artistry. They have the whole line of vintage artistry is papers, oh goodness, all kinds of die cuts, rub-ons. Now, these rub-on, it is not this one. It is not this one. The one that I used has the fall oranges, and it comes in a paper pack. So think of fall. Think of fall. It's the orange pack. But this is the butter and lilac rub-on transfers. So their transfers, their rub-ons, come 6 sheets in a pack. And so, like, say, for instance, it is the flowers on the front, the purple flowers on the back, the rub-ons of doilies. They usually have something really unique like this. And then on the back, I'm going to go sideways so you can see it a little easier. On the back, it's another, so it would be like lime green and different things. And then they always have one sheet that is words, and it's always going to be in the colors. All right, and then in the last sheet it is words and splotches. A lot of the times it's the splotches that I'll use first. Really I absolutely love. Easy to use. They're high quality rub-ons, really high quality rub-ons. So the ones to match with the tag and the Darling Bee kit that I am using for this demo is also, it's the orange. I don't know what it's called. I know, so, but it's in the vintage artistry line. Okay. Just remember it's the orange and green. So as you can see, I have already used part of, let's see if I can get this without disturbing my light. Oh, did. So at this point of the envelope, I'm going to take whatever rub-ons you like. You have, use whatever. And so I love to just accent some of these. I really like this right here. So I am just going to try to leave all of this alone because it really is nice and grungy. So the rub-ons really work well on cellophane or the acetate, however you want it. In the journal that I use, I made everything neutral. So this is going to give quite a bit of color, but I really like, I'm going to use the yellow right here. Very, very easy. And this is one of the beautiful things because rub-ons years ago, back in my scrapbooking days, I came from that world. That's really how I kind of got into the mixed media of it all. I'm going to go up here and use this and just accent. That's a little bit of coral up here. And I'm going to put that little extra little blob. Okay, now I'm going to pull it off. Go back in here. Sometimes I have to just turn things around, and that's okay. I'll work with it. Yep. Oh, okay. Some of the, see, some of that gray stayed, the yellow stayed. That's okay. I'll just see how wonderful that just adds on. And I will use the rest of this. In fact, I'm going to come up here and put the green on. That is how I do it, okay? It's easy, easy, easy peasy. It adds so much to anything, and I really wanted to show you about, see? Oh, love it. It adds so much. They are so easy to use. And I handle my books quite a bit because when I go to different art shows, I bring all of my books. And I think I'm just going to see. Here's another reason why I like. It's really a nice flow, kind of rule of 3s or 5s. I'm going to bring this down and use that probably right here. I like all of those splatter dots, and it's just really nice, really, really nice. Besides, I need to use this. Oh, perfect. And then the rest I'm just going to, so there's rule of odd numbers, 3, 5, 7. And this is one of the things when I go into my teaching classes, I always say 3, 5, 7. It's easier on the eyes. It's a nice flow. This is why you do the 3, 5, 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and I will probably do the last one down here off. And of course that's going to come off too. So we're just going to add it. I'm not going to count that. So it's just the areas, 5 areas. And I'm not going to worry about if I don't use the whole. I'm going to use this one, pull it off that way. Okay, I still have just a little bit right there. I'm going to I'm going to turn it around. It doesn't matter if there is some print on that rub-on, but it doesn't matter because it's going to be upside down and it's going to be in print here, you know, from the book page. So it really doesn't matter. See, there, it's all done, all gone. You have a little like this. They're just easy to pull off. This one I'll just turn under. And see how wonderful that just puts a nice little look on an envelope. Okay, let's talk about the tag. The tag is a print of, it's actually a tag from Tracie's, you know, Darling Bee kit. And so what, instead of, you really don't need to do anything. She is so fabulous in putting in so many details all around everything. But I wanted to put my flair on it. So I put a little bit of the vintage tape, a little bit of book page that I had left over. That's what up here. Had to put Tracie labels on. Had to. And then I just put a little bit of cheesecloth that I had laying there. Cheesecloth works really well with a glue stick, because if you put the glue stick down first and then just lay the cheesecloth, it will just stick to it like no other. And so basically that's it. And of course, put it on a file folder to make it sturdier. And then of course the drywall tape. And it just works out really well. Look at that. Look at how all of those little bees, you know, the yellow to the yellow and the blues, and it's just really, really cool. So while I still have your, excuse me, I'm going to take the this, the one that we already did, you know, pretend that this was done. And what I'm going to do is that the book page is down here. This is the book page. And of course that is white, it won't matter. So what you're going to do, you're going to glue this pocket, and this is where I would say use 3-in-1 glue. Glue stick usually won't do because it's so slick, the glassine bag. And there you go. If you glue that down, glue the envelope on top, I still give it a little bit, just wiggle room. And there you go. You have a lot of pockets there out of hardly anything. So isn't that the coolest? Easy, easy, easy peasy. I will be showing probably, realistically, probably next week. I'm going to show how to do this one. And then there is another big, really big one. This one, I'm going to show how to use a really large, and you can use like a paper wine bag. You buy a bottle of wine into the bag. I'll show you how to do that, or a prescription bag, you know. And I may even show you how I did this flip out. It's really very easy. But things like that, that would be for another video. So thank you so much. Like and subscribe. I will put all the pertinent information. Please go to my previous video. If this is the only video you have seen, please go to my watch all my other videos, because they're usually connected, kind of like how Tracie's videos are all connected together. And I will also put down the link to the rest of the team. We are rocking it. Oh my gosh. There is such a diverse, wide area of talent and skills, and they are going to show you everything that you need to know how to make journals and make art, make cards, make pages, oh, you name it. We can do it. So thank you again. Have a great day. You stay healthy. Until next time, bye.